All right, this is homework help for lesson 4.4. It's 8 questions. Number 8 is the hardest, so let's get going. Y is less than or equal to 3x plus 6. All of our boundary lines here are at the same y-intercept and have the same slope. So it obviously, I'll just zoom in so we can see. Obviously, it has a y-intercept of positive 6. We're going by 2's here, so 2, 4, 6. And then we have 3 over 1 is our slope. We're not really concerned about where the boundary line is. We are concerned about, is the boundary line dashed or solid, and where should it be shaded? That's all we're concerned with on this question. It really doesn't matter what numbers you have in your inequality. We are looking at this part. So let's just determine, should it be dashed or solid?
Solid.
Solid. Why solid?
Because it's facing out.
No, has nothing to do with
Because of the
which-
line thing.
because of the equal sign. This has an or equal to portion. So that's why it should be solid. Okay, so it should be solid. Where should it be shaded based on this inequality? Under the line, very good. Less than, lower than. So it should be a solid line, lower, solid line, shaded lower than line, or under the line, or less than the line, however you want to say it. So we're looking for a solid line. This is solid. And is it shaded above the line or below the line?
Below.
It's below. Yeah, even though the shading goes into these positive areas, if your line isn't perfectly straight, it's tilting a certain way. So above it would be on this side, below it would be on this side. Okay? So this is correct. It's A. On mine, it's the first one. Now, does anybody have a different inequality symbol and they need help figuring out if it should be dashed or solid or if it should be above or below the line? Okay, what's your inequality? Or I don't even care what the numbers are, just tell me what your inequality symbol is.
It's the same thing as yours, except, so if it doesn't have the line under, it's dashed.
Correct. So it's not the same thing as mine. If you're saying that yours is less than, then that's not the same thing. I know it.
No, I'm just
Hard.
asking.
Yeah.
Because mine's the same thing as yours, except I'm just asking.
Oh, you mean like the 3x plus 6 kind of thing?
No, like mine is.
Oh, yours is less than or equal to?
Yeah.
Oh,
mine's
okay.
the
I
same
thought you were
as
saying it's
mine.
like the same thing except it doesn't have the equal sign. I'm like, no, then that's not the same thing. I just want you to get that out of your head. Okay, I get what you're saying. Now you're saying yours looks just like mine here, but you're asking if it didn't have it and it just looked like that, then the shading would be the same, but the line would be dashed. Anybody else have a question on this? Are you guys able to answer your question?
See.
Okay. Okay, this one says to graph the linear inequality. It says, I'm just gonna write it here, y is less than x plus 3. Now I'm gonna make my graph pop out here. Now, to graph this, I'm going to first pretend that it's just an equation. I'm not going to worry about the inequality symbol. So I'm going to graph it, pretend that it's y equals x plus 3. We're just going to kind of pretend that it's y equals x plus 3 just to get our 2 points. Then we'll decide what kind of line it should be and where it should be shaded. So first, we're going to pretend it's y equals x plus 3. Therefore, we're just going to grab our 3, our y-intercept, and we're going to, oh, whoops, why am I going between there? 2 and 4. So 3 would be right here. And then our slope is what? 1, which as rise over run would be
Oh, sorry.
1 over 1. So I would go up 1, and then over 1. And then I have my 2 points. I'm gonna go ahead and graph that here. I'm just gonna grab my point tool here, like 3, and then up 1, over 1. Oh, I see. On the digital thing, you actually, before you plot that second point, you have to select the solid or the dashed line. Oh, before you graph any of the points. Okay, you erased everything. So, before we even graph our points, we're gonna look at our inequality. Should it be dashed or solid? Dashed is correct, so I'll keep it on my dash symbol. Now I'll graph my points. That's a little tricky because, oops. Okay, so now, is everybody understanding how to do this?
No.
Abby's gonna help you.
No, I know how to do that.
Oh, you know how to do the buttons? What are you having trouble with? Are you having trouble with like where to put your points? Okay.
Because my sign is green.
Okay, so that has nothing to do with where your points go. First, we're just graphing, remember? So what, you have your pencil and paper, that's good. Write your inequality down and then also write it as an equation. And then think about where your points are going to be. I don't know what yours says, but you're going to think about what your points is going to be. Pause that for just a second. Let me just finish this one and then I'll give you time to do that. So we've got our dashed line, so we have to shade it now. We're going to go back to our inequality symbol. Where should it be shaded?
It should be shaded below.
Below the line, very good. This is why is less than. Less than means go lower than the line.
And that little bucket of paint is how to do it.
I know, I love this little bucket of paint. You just click on it, and then you click anywhere in that shaded area. But look as I move, all these numbers that are changing, every time I move it, it's just naming all of those coordinate pairs that are part of the solution. All of those, even the ones that are off the chart here, all of those, when plugged into this, will make it true. And instead of trying to click on every single point, which would be impossible because there are even points as decimal numbers, you just do one click, boom. And when you shade it, you are identifying every single point. Now, it kind of locked it in on this point. That doesn't mean that you're naming that point as the only solution. You just chose that as the place to click on so that it could shade that whole section. Does that make sense in terms of using this to know where to shade and know whether to be dashed or solid? Now, would you like me to help you graph your line? Okay, I'm going to erase this just so I can help her. Yeah?
If my sign is facing the other way, so would it be on
Tell me if it's a less than sign or a greater than sign.
It's greater than.
Okay, because less than is in the direction of an L, greater than is not. Less than looks like a squished L. So if you're so when you said mine's going in the other direction, I don't want you to think of which direction it's going. I want you to think of, is it a less than symbol or a greater than? There are only two. There's only two choices. So less than looks like an L that's kind of tilted. Greater than doesn't. Okay? So if it's a greater than means higher than, greater, higher than. So we go above the line. All right, give me your equation.
So instead of 3.
I'm sorry, your inequality. Just read it to me.
Y is greater than x plus 5.
Okay, so this was almost exactly what I just had, but when you graph your points are going to be in a different spot, right? So first we're going to pretend it's y equals x plus 5. We're going to select our dashed tool, just like I did on mine, because you also, I had a less than sign, but you have a greater than sign, but it doesn't include the equal to, so we don't want to include the points on the line as part of the solution. We want to just dash it so we can show the boundary, but not actually include the points on the line. So we have our dash tool selected. Now we can plot our points. So make sure your dash tool is selected. do your line tool. And now we're just going to go to our little pretend equation here. And how do we plot those points? What is the first thing that we plot when we're
Plot 5. Right?
where?
On the Y.
Yeah, on the y-axis. The 5 is the y-intercept. So we're gonna go right here and plot our first point. Now we need to plot a second one. Now as I move it, it's going to show me that dashed line. And we need to figure out where our next point goes. What is going to help us decide that?
Just turn
What's that?
1/1.
Yeah, it would be 1 over 1 because the slope is invisible, which means it's 1 over 1, so up 1, over 1. That's it for that, and then we have to shade. Should you shade, go back to your inequality symbol, should you shade above the line? Shade, I always say shave, I don't know why. Should you shade above the line or below the line? Sounds pretty
Above.
awkward. Above the line. Could be worse. Click. That's it. Now I'm not gonna. Does everybody totally understand this one?
Yes.
All right, graph this inequality. What's the only thing that's different about this type of question? The only thing, yeah. Yeah, there's a fraction as a slope. Is that a big deal? Actually, fractions as slopes are easier because it's already in rise over run form, right? So everything that we already know about graphing inequalities, we just went over in questions 1 and 2. So you guys should be able to do this one on your own. I will go through mine. I'm gonna just write it up here. So I have y, for me it's y is less than or equal to 5 over 4 times x minus 2. I'm going to pretend that that says y equals 5 over 4 x minus 2. Putting it in quotes because I'm just pretending. I'm going to pop out my graph here. You guys should be able to do this one on your own without my help, but I'm just going to go through this just in case it's on video too. So I have to decide, is my line going to be solid or dashed? Which one is it going to be? Look at my inequality symbol. Should it be solid or dashed?
Solid.
Solid. So I'm going to click on the solid line. Now I'm going to go back to pretending that it's an equation. I'm just going to graph it using my y-intercept and my slope. What's my y-intercept? -2. So I'm going to click on my line tool. I'm going to go to -2. And then, where do I go?
Up 5 over 4.
Good, up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Clicky click, solid line, that's correct. One last step is to
Go below the line.
That's correct. I'm going to shade. My last step is shading. I look at my inequality. It is a less than symbol, so I go lower than the line. I click on the paint tool. So much easier than going like this with my marker. I love it. You guys want a second to work on yours?
Yes, please.
I don't get number 5 because you can't.
Why are you on number 5? Did you say you don't get number 5? Why are you on number 5? We just finished number 3.
You're on 3.
Yeah.
Well, I started it last night.
Oh, you did? Okay. You should probably wait. I always do the homework with you guys. You should probably wait. Just take a free night of no math homework, get something else done.
I also started last night.
Okay.
And I lost it.
I highly recommend just waiting until I do it with you. All right, again, is there anything different about this type of question? Anything new? No. It's just an inequality. It's in slope-intercept form, nice and simple. Are all of our boundary lines in the exact same spot? Yeah. So we're not worried about where the boundary line is. We're worried about, is it dashed or solid? And where is it shaded? Okay. Should it be dashed or solid? Dashed. So it's either going to be C or D. Should it go below the line or above the line?
Above.
Above. So it's C or D and it should go above the line. Which one's above the line, C or D? D is correct. You guys can work on yours as I go to number 5. Does anybody still need time to do their number 4?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Just like,
Yeah.
how do you put, you know how like, for the,
Are you talking about number 5?
yeah.
I'm gonna help you. I'm just waiting.
But like, for the little answer box, you can't put the.
Oh, how do you type it in?
Yeah, you can't put the line in the box.
It has, when you, let me see. If you scroll down, look, if you scroll down, yeah, you have the little buttons right there.
You could know chord. What is that?
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, it says determine the linear inequality associated with the given solution. That has a lot of big words in it. Determine, which just means figure it out, right? Figure out the linear inequality, which basically is those written out things that we've been working with, y is greater than x plus 3 or whatever it is. Figure out what that inequality will be written as that's associated with the given solution. So they give you the solution here. The solution is all of these values and all of these values. Why do I say and all of these values?
Because it's going up.
Because it's, or equal to, because it's a solid line. So I'm already noticing what part of my inequality is going to be, Abby. I want you to be.
Yeah, I'm trying to help you with it, and yeah, I don't have a thingy.
You don't have a thing at the bottom?
No.
Why not?
It's not a keyboard.
It's on the keyboard too?
Yeah.
You might have to hit like, what button do you hit to hold, like, choose the shift? Okay. All right, so we already know. Let's figure out our inequality sign. These are our 4 options. We already know that's going to be a solid line, right? So it's not going to be this, and it's not going to be that. Now we're going to look at our shading. Is it shaded below the line or above the line? Below. So is it going to be a less than or a greater than?
Less than.
Less than. So this is going to be our inequality symbol. Now, we're going to write it in slope-intercept form. It says to do it in slope-intercept form, which is good. We like slope-intercept form the best. I do anyway. Y is less than or equal to. Now, how do we write out an equation of a line? Yeah.
Wait, do you want me to like say it?
Well, yeah, how do I figure out like what stuff goes over here? Abby, I'm going over number 5 right now. You should probably pay attention.
X plus your slope.
X plus your slope.
Or like X. What? Okay. Hold on.
So let's give me what slope-intercept form is in variables. Y equals what? Not x plus b. Mx plus b. So I'll just leave my inequality symbol here. Y is less than or equal to mx plus b. What does m stand for?
Slope.
The slope. X stays x, and b is the y-intercept. Okay. So what will be easier to read first from the graph? Yeah, the y-intercept. What is it? Positive 4, right? So I'm going to replace my b variable with a positive 4. Now how do I get the slope?
You have to go down.
Yeah.
You have to go down 4 and right 4.
Yeah, I can go down 4 and to the right 4. That's fine. What's my slope?
4 negative 4 over 4. Because you went
Sure. Yeah, negative 4 over 4. So what's my slope?
negative 4.
Negative
Oh,
1.
Negative 1. Very good, Abby. Abby, you don't like candy, right? I was going to give you a lollipop. Okay. Okay, that was actually a really good throw this time. This was my one time. You weren't ready for it because you weren't expecting a good throw. Okay, now remember, if this negative 4 over 4 actually equals negative 1, and I can prove it to you, because technically it's intersecting this point as well, so it's just down 1 over 1. Totally fine if you go from this point all the way down and all the way over to this next point. Absolutely fine. Just make sure you simplify that fraction when you put it into, because if you put -4/4 in your answer, it's gonna mark it wrong. It's very, very picky about how you write it, so it needs to be simplified. So it'd be, so technically -1x, I don't know if they would mark that wrong. Because the 1 is technically supposed to be invisible, so just be a -x.
It's supposed to be.
It is supposed to be just -x. -1x is correct. I would mark it right. I just don't know how picky the digital answer key is gonna be.
Just like they're very, very, very picky.
Are they very picky? I'm gonna put it in and see if it, so it's less than or equal to, right? Okay, less
For
than
me, when I put it in there, it said
or equal to. What if I put whoops, ow, I got caught, -1x plus 4. Let's see if it marks it wrong.
You can just click space, enter, and do it.
No, it marked it right. Okay, if I did put -4/4 though, it would have marked it wrong.
Yeah.
Mark me right.
I did that the first time.
It wouldn't mark one answer wrong and one answer right, so there must be something else about it. There might be something else about it that wasn't correct. Okay, so that's good news that it's not being too picky about that. Okay, so number 6 is the exact same type of problem. Exact same type of problem. We are given the solution on the graph.
Miss Lennox?
Yeah.
So if I type in like y is greater than or equal to, it's fine if I do that and you might get right.
Oh, you mean like type it out?
Yeah.
Why are you having trouble? Angela, can you show her how? It's not coming up?
Did you like double click it? Yeah.
What did she say?
Oh, enter the linear. Okay, what about settings? Have you ever had your accessibility?
Yeah.
Where accessibility is on, but it won't go. I already tried turning it on.
Oh,
turning it
really?
back on.
Oh. Okay. Okay, just click on. Okay.
So complicated.
Okay. And then you don't have an option. Oh, you don't have an option here because of vertical time. Yeah, if you just write that and mark it wrong, just send me a quick email, just to remind me.
Miss Lynn,
Yeah.
since I put it down y is less than or equal to 5x minus 5, I guess.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
your question isn't my question, so I don't know. Okay. So the slope is down 5/5. So it's just like what we just did.
Oh, wait, so where was 5?
No. Your slope is down 5 over to the right 5. What's your slope?
Oh,
We just did that, remember? That's okay. That's all right.
so then it'd be y is less than or equal to -1x minus 5.
Yeah, we don't need to put the 1. But if you do, it's okay. But -x minus 5, as long as you're, yeah, minus 5. Well, that's just wonderful, Ricky. All right, guys, this is another example or another question that has the exact same type of problem, just a different line, different shading. Let's look at, is it a solid line or a dashed line? Solid. So is it going to have an equal sign as part of it or no? Yes, it very much is. So it'll be y is something or equal to. Now, what is that something? The shading is below the line, so it will be less than. Very good. You guys are getting this. Y is less than or equal to, and now we just need our slope and our y-intercept. Let's look at our y-intercept first. It is, here for me it's -6, so that will be -6. And then my slope is down 6 to the right 6. That's -6/6, which is -1. So that would be a -1x, or we would simplify that to -x. Does that totally make sense? It's just like the other one. That's why I went so quickly through it.
Wait, Miss Lynn, what question?
That was number 6. It was just like number 5. So it's totally fine if you missed number 6.
Can I help her?
Yeah, you can help her. Are you done with your homework completely? You're totally done submitted and everything?
That's what
Okay.
I did, that's what
Did you do number 8?
Yeah.
Did you get number 8 correct? Did you get number 8 correct? Can I see your submitted response? You got 100?
I have to type it out because it's not.
Good job.
It was the easiest question.
Well, that's just wonderful.
It's not my dash.
Just write it out on paper. I'll just give you 100 on the homework. Don't even worry about submitting it. Just take notes on paper. Just do my questions on paper. Yeah? Yes.
I think you know what it is.
The science story? What? Okay. All right, guys. So this has 2 parts to it. This is number 7. I think you should probably have the same question. Maybe the numbers are a little bit different.
Yeah, but the same questions stay along the line, same thing.
Okay.
Mine's not the same.
Yeah, but.
You don't know John Smith?
It's not the same question, but it's the same way to solve it.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Everything's the same, but
Great.
except for like the numbers.
It is the end of the budgeting period for John Smith, and he has $450 left in his budget for car rental expenses. He plans to spend this budget on a sales trip throughout the country. He will rent a car that costs $45 per day and $50 per mile. So what's our variable in that word problem?
That's 50 cents.
Our variable is how many miles. That's right. And he can spend no more than $450. So is he allowed to spend $450? He can spend no more than $450. Is he allowed to spend $450 exactly?
Yeah.
Yes. So what does it have to include? What does the inequality have to include?
Do you want me to show what the big
What?
Miles?
No. What does the inequality symbol have to include?
Oh, less greater than.
Hold on. It says he can spend no more than $450. Listen to my question again. Is he allowed to spend
Less than equal to.
exactly $450? Yes. So what does the inequality symbol have to include? The equal to. Good. So we have a little equal to sign, and now we have to figure out is it less than or greater than. He can spend no more than. So can he spend more greater than $450? No, no greater than that. He can spend less than $450 or equal to $450. It's very tricky to interpret this wording and put it into an inequality. So we want to slow that part down. He can spend no more than $450, so he must spend less than $450 or exactly $450. Now that's our inequality sign, which immediately we can cancel out this guy or and eliminate this guy. Oh wait, we can do everything. We can cancel out everything. It has to be less than. It's this, because everything else is set up the exact same way. Perfect.
You are correct.
Thank you. Yes.
Can I have the other part?
Oh, the other part. I'm gonna say what?
Don't move on to it, yeah.
Okay, 45x plus 0.5y is less than or equal to 450. Why does my inequality look a little bit different than the correct answer? Does anybody want to tell me? Why does my inequality look a little bit different?
You didn't include the point zero.
Yeah, I didn't include those zeros.
Infinite zeros there.
Yep, we don't need those zeros there when I solve, but you can put them there if you want to.
I'm just paying attention to this.
I'm just listening to what.
Okay, is it, then does it tell me to graph? Okay, so I have to choose
You
one.
have to choose
I
one
have to choose it
first,
to let it, okay.
and then after that, you press continue.
Okay.
Oh, you don't have to graph?
You do have to grab.
Okay, then it's gonna say,
No,
You have to press continue.
oh my gosh. Okay, now it says use the graphing tool to, on the right, to graph this inequality. Oh, okay.
Do I have to grab it?
Oh.
For my work?
No, all you have to do is pay 10, I'll give you 100. I know your computer's being really frustrated right now. Okay, oh, I didn't actually, I thought I was gonna have to solve it for something. All right, so you wanna do the graph? Sure. Let me just move it over. I'm gonna write this. My answer 45.00 times x plus 0.50y is less than or equal to 450. I'm just gonna leave that there. Okay, you wanna graph this? Oh, you want to tell me? Okay, so do I need to decide which type of line?
And put the paint at 0. Put the paint already at 0. The paint bucket at 0.
I can't put a paint bucket anywhere until I graph a line. I can? Okay, I don't want to put my paint, I don't want to shade until I have my line.
Whatever, like if it's above the line or below the line, or
Okay, but I'm telling you that you shouldn't be shading anything until you graph your boundary line.
That's what I do. I should after it.
Okay,
first line is gonna be
so instead of just telling me where to graph it, can you tell me how to figure out where to graph it? Because if I don't know how to do this problem, telling me to graph it at 10 doesn't teach me anything. All I know is that this equation is correct and I have to graph it, but how do I know that it's 10? Can you teach me? How did you get 10? You can't just make it up. How did you get it? Did you get it wrong so many times that it told you how to do it? Okay, so did we learn anything from that? No, we did
I know
not.
how to do it.
Good, Callie, tell me how to graph my points on this coordinate.
I did the way the thought that you taught us when you just replaced y with
Yeah,
0.
she got her x and y intercepts. So guys, this is really expensive. This is really important, okay? We're gonna graph our x and y intercepts. To get your x-intercept, you're going to plug 0 in for y. It's going to cancel it out. And you're gonna get 45x is, when we get our x and y intercepts, you just pretend that it's equal to 45x equals 450. Divide by 45, and we get x equals 10. So Ricky, this is really important. It is important to know how to get from here to here, okay? So our x value is 10 for our x-intercept. And then, in the same exact way, but doing it for the y-intercept, we plug in 0 for x. 0 times 45 is 0. That gets canceled out, and we have 0.5y equals 450. Again, I'm just pretending it's equal, just so I can get my intercept. Yeah?
Can I have a calculator?
Yeah. What's 450 divided by 0.5? Somebody do it. Somebody tell me so I don't have to do my calculator.
900.
450 divided by 0.5.
900.
It's 900. Okay. So y equals 900. So my y-intercept is going to be 900. So I just connect my dots here. That's my graph.
That's what
Because it's 0.50. You can write 0.50 if you want. So if I'm trying to find the y-intercept,
Because I'm doing the thing that you're doing. but-
are you doing it with your numbers?
Yeah.
Okay, so you might have different numbers.
I know, I did, stop. So,
Can you stop?
wait, so I did the 50, because I had 50.00. So I got
50 over here. Okay.
And then I put 50x equals 250.
Okay, and then so you did
And then-
250 divided by 50.
And then I got 0.5, well, 5 points.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. 250 divided by 50.
I don't know how to put numbers.
250 divided by 50 is 5.
Yeah.
Is that what you got?
Mhm.
So you got 5 as your x-intercept?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So then I just put up the 5.
So your x-intercept would be 5.
And then,
And then to get your y-intercept, what was your number here for your next to your y?
0.25.
Okay, so 0.25. So yours is 250,
So
right?
then I do the 25 divided by 250.
250 divided by 25. Okay, say that in the right order because they're totally different division problems. 10 divided by 5 is not the same thing as 5 divided by 10. So when you say it like that, I just have to. Okay, yours is 0.25y equals 250. Divide by 0.25 on both sides.
What is 50?
So you have y equals 250 divided by 0.25.
I have the same thing as you, but I put what you put in the phone.
What? Did you shade?
Oh,
I wasn't done, I just paused for a
I
second.
thought you put.
Yeah. Did you get it? I got it on my calculator. What did you get for your y-intercept? Where do you shade it, Angeli?
On the bottom.
Yeah, below the line. So this part right here, this little 1,000. So you would be putting your 0.5 and 1,000,
That's correct.
and then also shading.
And then you shade.
I did similar question I was further. Because every single question has 0.5.
Okay. All right, I have. Do I have one more question to do? Was that 6 or 7? Okay, I have one more question to do. This one's the one that's going to take the longest. Yeah. You finished 8 already?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the one that's going to take the longest because it's almost like 5 questions in one because you actually have to look at every single answer choice to determine if those are possible correct answers. A cafe has $180 to decorate for a special event. A pack of balloons costs $2.50, and a pack of streamers costs $3. How many packs of balloons and streamers can you buy? All right. Yes, you can get water. Do you really want to get water when I'm going over the hardest question on the homework?
I'm finished.
You were able to get all of that on your own?
I did it on my own.
Okay. I want to go get water and I want to come back and I want you to explain to me how you did it because I need to know. This was really hard for me. Okay. Did she kind of tell you what the answers were? Kind of?
A little bit.
Okay, so we didn't learn anything then. Ricky? Enough. All right, let's go through this. We have $180 to spend. Does that mean we can go more than 180 or do we have to stay under or equal? Yep, so we're gonna have to stay less than or equal to 180. Now, a pack of balloons costs $250. It says, let X represent the number of packs of balloons. So we have 250, or we'll say just 2.5 to simplify it. 250 times the number of packs of balloons, which would be X, plus the cost of the pack of streamers is $3, so $3 times however many packs of streamers we buy, which is represented by 1. So a nice, easy question would just say, write an inequality and maybe graph it or whatever, and that would be done. But we got the answer in standard form, which is right here. So D is correct, but there are several other ones that are also correct, and we have to investigate and see which ones are correct. I'm going to go through this step by step. I know we only have 3 minutes left, so pay attention. I'm going through it step by step, but I'm going to go kind of quick, okay? First, I'm going to look down here and say, hey, this looks totally different, but if I learned anything from the elimination method, I learned that if every term in the equation or inequality is multiplied by the same number, then it's still true. So if 2 is multiplied by 2.5, you get 5. 2 is multiplied by 3, you get 6. And 2 is multiplied by 180, you get 360. Therefore, this is also correct. Now we've got a point slope form, which is super annoying. I'm not even gonna go there until I figure out how to change my original equation into slope-intercept form. These are in slope-intercept form. I'm gonna figure out which one of these is correct. Only one of these slope-intercept form can be correct because there can only be one y-intercept, right? The y-intercept is either 72 or 60. We have to solve this for y in order to figure out what our y-intercept is and our slope. All right, so I'm gonna take away 2.5x. I'm gonna go through this quickly. I know you guys have lunch next, so you can just, we need to talk after class because I know you were helping Abby and she got the answer right, so she went to get a drink of water, but I don't think she actually knows how to do it because you were helping her just select the right answers instead of actually teaching her how to do it. So that cancels out there, and then we have 3y is less than or equal to 180 minus 2.5x. Which one do I want to write first?
180.
Nope.
Oh, negative.
The negative 2.5x, because that represents my slope, and slope-intercept form is written with your slope term first. You can go, Zach, and your y-intercept. Oh, that's okay. No, I know. No, you stay. Then we need to divide by 3 on both sides, all terms on both sides, and we have a negative 2.5 over 3 times x, and then 180 divided by 3 is 60. So we have y is less than or equal to this slope and this y-intercept. This inequality, though, is not one of the choices. Tell me how to make sense of this matching one of those. Callie.
Since you have the same y-intercept for algebra.
So just because I have the same y-intercept, I should say, well, it doesn't really matter what the slope is.
If you do 2.5 times 2, you get 5.
Do not
and then
like
you get 6.
That is correct. She's noticing, well, this is the same y-intercept. Let's check out these slopes. We have a negative 5, 6, and a negative 2.5 over 3. 2.5 over 3 is the same thing as 5 over 6. Times 2 times 2. It's the same thing. Good explanation. So that's also correct, which means this one is wrong. Now, this one is the hardest one to recognize if it's true or not. The slope is the same as our correct equation over there, our correct inequality. So far it's looking good. But we also have 2 numbers here. What do those 2 numbers represent?
The slope.
X and y.
X and y. They represent a specific coordinate pair on that graph. So if they represent a specific coordinate pair on that graph and they're presenting themselves to be true, which one is my x value? The 50 or the 12? Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So the 12 is my x. Is it a negative 12 or a positive 12? Nope. Positive, because slope-intercept form is minus minus. So those are just representing the minus signs. These are actually positive values. So I have 12 and then 50. I'm going to plug this as my x value and this as my y value into any one of these true equations. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and plug, I'll just do my, hey, I'm going to do this one. 5x plus 6y is less than or equal to 360. All I'm going to do is plug in my values and see if this is true. So 5 times x, which is 12, plus 6 times y, which is 50, and we're just going to make sure that the sum of these products is less than or equal to 360. 5 times 12 is 60. 6 times 50 is 300. 300. So 60 plus 300 is 360 is less than or equal to 360. Is that a true statement?
C.
So is this a valid equated inequality? Yes. So the only one that was wrong was that guy over there. That's a tricky one. Thank you for staying. You can go. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to Abby and Callie.
Is that it?
That's it, baby.
Oh, okay.